Hey everybody, welcome to another crazy episode of Panic Attacking, the podcast where we talk about anxiety, talk about comedy, and make each other laugh. Change the tagline a little bit because I'm sweaty, but...
We're in my new apartment in the office, and we had to turn the AC off to make sure this episode's good, and we're suffering the consequences.
Yeah, I feel like a flame-broiled chicken right now, but... Everybody, this is a crazy episode. It was one of the crazy episodes we had, so we had to cut out the listener topics and Dr. Deb because we got too much in this, and it's probably one of our longest episodes in a long time.
Yeah, still not 2 hours, thank God.
So I talk about the anxiety that came out of a bait-and-switch Aruba trip.
You know, one of those classic ones.
And you have two back-to-back crazy stories this week.
I got, let's just say both involve hitting. I'm trying to be vague so they are enticed.
Okay. One is assault in your car, and one is assault
on land. Yeah,
on land.
One of by land and two of by car. All that and more, some fun bits. It was a really good time, and check out our Patreon, $5 a month for bonus episodes.
Every week we got one out, and our YouTube. If you're not watching it on YouTube and listening on your headphones, go over there and subscribe. Why don't you? Maybe we'll want to check out a video one day. Maybe we'll be on a plane.
Perfect.
Stay tuned for the music, everybody, and stay tuned for the episode.
Stay tuned for the intro.
My heart starts beating really fast. I'm like sweating and trembling.
Me too.
I'm gonna die?
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm Steven Rogers.
I'm Andrew Chavone. Welcome, everybody. Hello. I should be looking up when I talk, shouldn't I?
Yeah, but I almost blew out our eardrums.
And the eardrums.
And the eardrums in the air tonight. Drum solo. We had the volume too loud, and I thought your head was going to explode.
You know, when I was a kid, I saw a video of Phil Collins playing that song.
Yeah.
And he sings and then walks over to his drum set. And by the time he gets to the drum set, the drum fill comes in.
Yeah.
And it like blew my mind. Looking back, it's pretty easy to do that. I thought he was like a wizard.
Yeah, like he
didn't write the song himself. He wrote that. He knows how long the song is. But I guess the walking, he has to time that out.
True.
Yeah.
Do you think they do that in the rehearsal where he's like, all right, let me just make sure it's 6 steps away from my mic stand?
Yeah, he's like trying to sing in his head. He's like 1, 2, 2.5, 3.
Yeah, that'd be funny if out loud he goes, I can feel it 3, 4, 5.
Do. Oh, it's too early. Sorry, guys. Can I restart and stand over there again?
Oh, man. Well, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. It's been a heck of a week.
Yeah.
Sorry for the language, everybody.
Yeah. You went on vacation, and
you went on the opposite of vacation.
Yeah, I've been on a trip as well.
You've been on the Dante's Inferno trip.
This is one of the few episodes where people listening know what has happened to both of us.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, you have live tweeted everything you've done, and
yes.
My girlfriend live Instagram storied my whole life.
Yeah.
So
every post of hers, I know where you are behind the camera.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you see like a blurry shadow in one of her photos, that's me, everybody.
How many times, was there those pictures where she's like, you got to do this again?
Oh, yeah, all the time. She's like, oh, I look gross. And then everyone's like looking at me, like taking photos. And it's funny is we were on the beach, and I'll get into the whole story later, but we were on the beach and we looked at this guy with he basically had like a Steadicam tripod for his phone or for his girlfriend's phone.
Oh,
and he's like taking pictures of her rolling on the beach. And Maddie looked at that couple and was like, wow, look at them. What a loser that guy is. I'm like, that was me. That's me an hour ago.
He's me with a bigger budget.
That's our Pokemon evolution.
My God.
Oh, yeah. So, but I'll get into it. We had what should we do first?
I honestly don't know what should go first.
And first of all, we're in your apartment now. You said I'm
Yeah.
the first person to step in this place.
You're our first guest.
And you were the first person in mine.
I know. And I did the same thing. I was like, do you like it? Is it okay? I cleaned up. It's still messy.
Yeah, it's great. It's like a smaller version of yours, but less people, and
Yeah. So
it's half as many people.
it's the same amount of space I used at the old place, just no people.
Just privacy. For
Yeah,
once.
privacy. It's pretty great. And
Yeah.
I was so excited for you to be here. And we got a new TV that we set up just in time.
Yeah, it was Tashubo. It was a Sam Dad.
Yes, I was trying to think of one. It was a Crapple TV.
Crapple. It's a micro hard.
It was very hard to set up.
It's not micro though.
No, it's big.
Yeah.
It's only we actually just rented it for the day because you're coming over.
You went to rent a center.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Filled out your whole apartment.
Like, hey, I want my friend to think my place is nice. Can I borrow?
Yeah, so we're in your studio. It's a smaller room. We turned the AC off because it's picking up on the mic. So
Yeah.
you're gonna see me get progressively sweaty in this video.
Well, you're wearing a sweater.
I know, and then I'm wearing like a V-neck undershirt.
What
under
the
it.
hell?
So I didn't know it was gonna be like this.
You did this to yourself. I mean,
know.
outside it isn't even worth that.
Well, it was pouring when I like looked out the window
Right,
before I
right.
left, and then I gave it a couple minutes and it stopped raining.
Well, you even said it's humid outside.
Yeah, when I was walking,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell from inside my house looking out my window like a cat. I don't know what's going on out there.
I know Bowie's like, no, it seems fine out there. I'm dry.
He comes in all sweaty, or she.
So we should. I don't know which story. I want to know about your vacation.
Well, you have two stories. Do you want to do both? So maybe we could sandwich them.
Oh, okay. I'll do one. You do yours, and then we do
Yeah,
the other.
start out with a quick one, and then I'll do mine, and then we'll end on your other
I
one.
gotta tell you, they're not quick, but I'll get.
We'll start with the one today. That's got to be quick. I mean,
Well, I gotta do chronologic. I gotta go in chronological order here.
okay. Well, that's a long story, isn't it?
Well,
All right. Well, I guess we got an hour.
We got not anymore. All right. All your questions will be answered, and if they're not, ask them at the end.
Who are you, Zoltan from Big? What are you talking about?
I've told you stories before.
Before.
and- Sorry, I had some recent head trauma.
My God, Mr. T. You got Mr. T transplant his brain?
Mr. T-Bone. All right, let's get into it. I was doing a gig in Connecticut. Delicious state. And driving home, I just dropped off Sam Evans, who was also on the show, friend of the show, wrote the music that you hear.
Oh yeah, he also wrote the sketch where you guys are birds.
Yes. Yeah. So his masterpieces have been mentioned. We're driving. I drive him back to Brooklyn, and I'm going home to Queens. Right. I'm so excited. Get to my new apartment. This is Sunday,
Okay.
and I'm like just excited to go home.
Right, your private place with the
My
mounted TV.
private place with TV on the stand at this point,
Okay.
and just excited to go back after a gig. Get 10 minutes from the apartment, and I come around a corner.
Oh God.
On a Hunters Place Avenue.
Okay, Long Island City.
Yes, and I see two cars taking up a lane, but they're stopped, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go around them. I get in the other lane, and it's right next to the expressway.
Yeah,
The entrance to the expressway.
I know that one. That's the exit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's the second to last exit before the tunnel.
correct. I knew you were the perfect person to tell this to, that you know
I've been on
exactly
that.
where I am.
I've been on that. Yeah,
I knew you would know where I was.
Right. It took
So-
me a second.
I get around these cars, And and I'm like, oh, I got to make sure I clear these cars. They're like in the way.
Right.
And then bang, my car shakes.
What?
And just shakes like I hit something. And I'm like, how did I hit something? I'm looking at the car. I definitely didn't hit anything. There's no way. I definitely cleared those other cars. I went in another lane.
You're like me. Whenever I get in a car accident, my first thought is it's my fault.
Exactly.
Or any kind of accident.
Yeah.
Or anything at all.
Yeah,
I assume it's my fault.
A guy pees his pants, and I'm like, somehow I did it.
Yeah, I turned my microwave some weird setting.
Yeah, I was pouring too much water. So I immediately stop and pull over. I'm like, all right, well, I've just been in an accident. And then I see this other car hightail it onto the he turns, goes onto the and goes out into opposing traffic, and then goes onto the expressway, stops, and then takes off
On the highway?
on the highway.
So he goes the other way off the exit ramp.
He
goes the opposite way of the exit ramp.
He goes the opposite way of where I was driving, because I was driving, and where he hit me, he went into the opposite direction of where I was driving. So
let me make this clear here. I feel like I'm a lawyer on a deposition, but
sure.
You guys are not sorry. You guys, you're on Hunters Point Avenue.
Yes, driving in regular street.
And then there's like the double yellow line there where both sides traffic coming.
No, one way.
One way, but two cars are blocking one lane.
Yes.
So then you go to the left of the cars, and where did this guy come from? Was he one of the two cars?
He was one of the two cars.
Oh.
He had gotten in an accident with the other car in the lane. He was fleeing that scene, hit me, and then fled his second hit and run, and took off on the expressway.
So that was more like a hit, stop,
hit,
run.
Yeah, it was very confusing when the cops thought I was in much worse shape. I was like, I was just in a hit, run.
Hit, break, hit, run, stop, roll, rattle, and
shake, rattle, and roll.
Shake, rattle, and roll.
So he takes off, and I'm sitting there going, all right, well, I'm going to go talk to this other car. Maybe they were friends. I didn't know that he hit. At this point, I didn't know that was another accident. The driver of that car comes over to my window and goes, he just did it to me, too.
What? What's this guy like? Who's this guy?
This is a big guy. He looks like a bouncer.
Is he driving a cab? Because I know there's a lot of taxis over there.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he was leaving his home. It looked like apartments, so I think he was leaving a parallel parked spot and got hit.
Okay.
And then the guy was fleeing and then hit me and then fled.
Interesting.
So he goes, yeah, he just did it to me too. And I was like, well, I guess I'll get your information so that when one of us tracks down this thing or gets a report, we have the other person's info. And
you guys are like when a boyfriend is dating two girls at the same time and they meet up.
Yeah, I was like, let's conspire against her.
Yeah. This guy's such a jerk. Can you believe what he did to us?
Yeah, this was...
Let's exchange info.
I wish I could remember. Steve has to die. Let's kill Steve.
John Tucker.
John Tucker must die. That's what it was.
Steve is you.
Oh, that's who I am. Maybe I did get a little banged up. So then... Oh, no. I'm going to be walking around. Hi, I'm John Tucker. So...
They're like, don't you have to die? You're like, no, it's another guy.
So then I call... He called 911, and he told me, the cops aren't coming out here because of COVID. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's not an emergency. And I was like, okay.
The city's reopening. It's over.
So I'm like, all right. I call 911, and I get through to an operator, and they go, where were you hit? And I go, Hunters Point.
Yeah.
And 38th Street. And they go, I'm getting a call, and I hope that didn't affect the video.
Check it.
No, we're good.
Okay.
I go Hunters Point Ave and 38th Street, and they go, that's not an acceptable location. And I go, what?
Yeah.
And they go, where you were hit is not acceptable.
Acceptable for who? For what?
And I go, I think for their system, they're like, they don't have that corner,
Okay.
which doesn't make sense. This is 911. I didn't call a precinct. I called 911. So I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but a vehicle had hit my vehicle, and this is where I am. And then she's like, I need a street address. And I'm like, and I had to get an apartment address in order for them to send somebody out. I get off the phone.
So you look at the building and
Yeah.
give them the number? Okay.
Yeah. I get off the phone, wait an hour and a half. And then
Yeah, it's every time you have an automobile accident in New York City, it takes like an eternity.
Yeah. How long would you say for you last
It's
time?
at least an hour, and then it's always at least an hour. And then one time I hit somebody, like when I first moved here, I rear-ended them, and they're like, "I'm not waiting." They just they drove away. I hit them and they ran. I got somewhere to be.
Yeah, that's not even a hit and that's a hit and run where you're not at fault. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Right?
Right. No, I guess well, it's a hit and run, but somebody else ran.
Yeah. Well, then I wait another half hour. I called 911 again. I called 311. They sent me to 911.
They're useless. They haven't helped
Yeah.
me with anything in my entire life.
The 411 on 311 is they're useless.
They are completely useless. When I first moved here, I called 311 and I was like, "Can you send a taxi to me?" And they said, "What? No." I was like, "What are you good for? What's going on?"
We're here to forward you to 911.
That's all we can do.
We're operators, honestly.
They just forward me, and then
They forwarded me to 911 again. And I'm like, I did this. And then I call 911. I talk to them. They tell me to call the precinct.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any record of my first 911 call. I wait another hour. No one comes.
Okay.
And I just left.
The bouncer's still there?
Bouncer gave up.
He's gone. Bouncer bounced.
I saw he bounced out of there. I saw him go to the gas station, get some chips, and just start his day. But
he just stood in front of a nightclub and started checking IDs.
Then an ambulance does show up.
Okay.
And they're like, "You're fine."
An ambulance comes.
An ambulance
You
comes.
didn't even call them.
No. And they asked, "Are you trapped or injured?" And I said, "No," when I called 911. And I'm like, "I'm fine. I need cops." And they're like, "Oh yeah, they may come, they may not. You should go to the precinct." So I come home, I tell Kate all the things that happen. The car is in drivable shape, so I go to the precinct the next day.
What's up with it? Dent on the side?
Scrapes, dents,
Oh my God.
little bumper, a jar, of peanut butter. And
Let me ask you this: you resenting Sam Evans a little bit for inadvertently causing you?
I'm resenting Brooklyn for sure. Because they're mad that I left.
Because every time this happens, like my first rear-ended, I was driving to drop something off at somebody who needed to borrow something. So my favor ended up putting me in, and I resented them. I still resent them for making me leave my house and get in this accident that wasn't their fault, but the circumstances were theirs.
I was more mad about the police situation of all of it.
Well, that's a given. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then
They're defunded. They hate everybody.
they
They hate their own jobs.
I think they knew it. They knew. Then I go to the precinct. I go to the front door of the precinct. There's a cop standing there, and she goes,
What is this, a video game? You walk up and
Yeah,
there's just somebody there. You press X and they talk to you.
yeah, and then it gave me 3 options of what to say. And then it said game over. I picked the wrong one. She goes, how can I help you? And
They're just standing on the stairs?
she's just standing on the stairs.
That's so weird.
I think to not have anyone come in the precinct just willy-nilly. So I go up to her, and I'm like, I'd like to make a report. As soon as I say that, she grabs her belt. And I was like, does she think I'm going to go after her? And she goes, what's the report? And I'm like, I was in a hit and run yesterday. And she goes, all right, well, it probably won't come of nothing will probably come of it because it's a day later. And I'm like, well, I waited for 2 hours for cops and nobody came. And by the way, I forgot to mention this. When I got to my apartment finally after the hit and run, the cops called me asking me if I was still at the spot. And so I go to
Wait, how long after that?
20 minutes.
20 minutes after you left, they call and say they're there?
They didn't say they were there. They just asked if I was still there.
That's when you say yes and you drive back. My God.
Well, this story is going to hurt even more now when I tell you the precinct story.
Oh, God. All right.
I get to the precinct. She lets me in. She sends me to the front desk. The front desk sends me to she goes, go in this room right here. It's right next to the desk. I knock on the door. There's a woman sitting at a computer with a rolly chair next to it. And I go, I'm here to report a hit and run. This is what she does. And just points to her chair.
To do what?
For me to sit.
On her lap? What are you saying?
The chair next to
Points at a different chair.
a different chair.
Okay.
The rolly chair next to the computer.
Oh, gotcha.
So I sit on her lap, and she rocks me, and I tell
Ask
her
you
I
what you want for Christmas?
Yeah, and I'm like a nicer car now.
Dents
Yeah.
my car.
Anti-dent cream. So then she does filling out the report, and I tell her the story, what just happened. She's filling out the report, and then she asks the story again, and I go, tell her the story again, and then she sighs, rolls her eyes, and gets up and grabs another report and starts filling it out. And I'm like, I don't understand. The story was fine. She's filling out the report, and she goes, all right, tell me the story again. And I go, a car hit another car, and they went to flee that accident and hit me. And she goes, and I go to that, and then
I called 911.
I called 911 and no one came. And she goes, no, I don't know. I don't need that. What happened after they hit you? And I'm like,
They ran.
I go, they ran. They took off. She goes, so my first report was fine. And I go, yeah.
Speaking of which, sirens are playing.
Yeah.
They came for your accident.
They're finally here.
Yeah. They sound like they're circling the house.
I think they're getting a live stream of this episode. So then she fills out the report, and she goes, all right, give me your license. And I give her the license, and she goes, Rogers? And I go, yeah, that's my last name. She goes, what's a Steven? I swear to God.
What kind of question
She
is
goes,
this?
what's a Steven? And I go, my first name.
Uh-huh.
She's like, oh, okay.
What answer was she looking for?
I don't. A guy that gets hit and no one comes. I don't know what you wanted.
What's a Steven? A guy who's even? I don't know. What kind of riddle is this?
A guy that shouldn't be with Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Steven's an Alice Cooper song. I don't know. What do you want from me? So she fills out the report, gives it to me, and I come home. And that's it.
Okay, so that's all you got?
That's all I got.
Did you call your insurance company?
That was handed over to Kate, and now it's her part.
She didn't call yet?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, there's a part in your policy that covers, like, this kind of thing.
Well, maybe I know how good you are at that stuff. You might want to talk to her.
Well, I mean, that's all she has to do is tell the company what happened.
Yeah,
They
I think that's her plan.
They don't pay. I mean, they should call right. You should call right away.
I think she.
They will do more work than the police. The insurance company will, like, I think, investigate this more. Like,
I hope so.
try to get videos and stuff because they don't want to pay out of their own policy.
Right.
They want to get this guy who probably doesn't have insurance because they're fleeing the scene of a crime. But
Yeah.
or they were drunk. Who knows? What time of the night was this?
10 o'clock.
Yeah, they were probably like blitzed. You know.
Yeah. I was side blitzed.
There. Yeah. I mean, there's a strip club over there, so
Yeah, ballroom.
that's what it's called.
No, I was ballroom blitz.
Oh, Poland, 1939. But the
There's a strip club over there, you're saying. I didn't know that.
yeah, there's one right on that intersection. That guy was probably like boozing and then he hit that bouncer guy, saw what he looked like, and then hit you, and then
he was like, oh, well, that guy's not going to chase me.
yeah. You were just like when somebody runs away and throws chairs behind them, you were like that chair. You're just
Jump over this.
Here's a piece of the scenery.
Yeah, yeah.
That other guy was the main dude.
My God.
Well, I mean, it's out there. They wrote down the day of the accident, right, on the report.
Yeah.
So it's post dated or
Yeah.
predated or whatever. So
Yeah.
and then you've been live streaming this.
I live tweeted it.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of nice people reach out asking if I was okay, and then they had to reach out again, which foreshadowing. But
yeah. So the way I saw it when you first tweeted, I got hit by a car and he ran away. Oh my God, this guy got slammed while he's crossing the street and he's in a neck brace. And then, and then you tweeted, and then I think I texted you. They hit a car? And you said, yeah. And I was like, all right, whatever. This guy's tweeting about it. He's obviously not in the ER.
No, yeah. I got over it by tweeting. I was just mad. I had to get all the tweets out. The guy hit and ran.
Yeah.
I had some beef to get out.
And your tweet said that was the first time you were in the police station ever?
It was my first time filing a report, yeah.
Oh, you've been in the police station, though?
No, I've never been to a police
Oh.
station. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is really cleaning it up. I can tell you that.
The show?
Yeah, it's the police station.
Oh, cleaning up what a police is like.
Yeah, it was all dirty, and everybody was upset that I showed up. It was...
Yeah, I only had to file one report, and it was when my first year of living here, somebody stole my phone. It was like shipped to my apartment, and the guy went through the box. And
porch pirate?
Yeah, but then he took it a step further where he knocked on the door and said, hey, somebody stole your phone. He was like, his eyes were darting like this. Somebody stole your phone, but I got it. But I had to pay them, so can you pay me? And then I was like, what do I have to give you? And he, $20. Blah, 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 blah. He was like tripping on crack or whatever.
Right.
And then I like gave
Pretty
him,
good deal for an iPhone.
Right. And then I gave him the $20 and I was like, wait a minute. He that story's BS. I was just so relieved to get my phone.
Oh, man.
So then I went to the police and the same thing. They were like, whatever. Get
Yeah.
out of here. We can't do anything for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they were like, this is funny. They were like, well, why didn't you call us when he was knocking at your door? I was like, he had my phone. I couldn't be like, can I borrow that thing you stole to call the police on you? I had to like argue with them to get them to listen to me.
Oh, man.
And then they were like, oh, you have a good point.
Why didn't you take a picture of the guy? He had my phone.
Why don't you do a voice memo?
Oh, man. Why didn't you Instagram Live it?
Then I fill out the report and nothing happened. Like I knew the guy where he lived in my building. I got the address. They didn't do anything.
He lived in your building and they didn't...
Yeah, I tracked him down. He and I talked to my super. I was like, what is this guy? He stole my package. And he's like, that guy hasn't paid rent in forever. We don't know what the hell's going on with that guy. I'm like, what? I don't know. I guess he moved in the building and started getting addicted to drugs and didn't pay his rent.
My God.
I know. I was so mad. But I guess there's some like city ordinance where if you're addicted to drugs, I don't know. Maybe he had some other disease. But they couldn't evict him. So he's in this building robbing everyone's packages.
Oh, my God.
But that was the only time I went to the New York City to file a report. I haven't been since, except in Resident Evil 2 when I had to escape the precinct with zombies.
I've been in there every time I get stopped in Grand Theft Auto, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
every time I'm in the police station, I have to assemble the right penance and put them in a fountain, and then a secret door opens and more zombies come out. But it's a real hassle.
Yeah, it's a real pain. It's easier just to get in a hit and run.
Yeah, really. So, wow, what a dark way to start this, but
Oh, it's not that dark.
yeah.
Well,
I was expecting a little more from this story. I thought you'd get the guy and, drag him in the story.
no, it's a true story.
The true story is you got hit and you went to the police station. I saw it all by the tweets.
Yeah.
Literally, I got all the story from the tweets. He got hit and they went to the police station.
I'm sorry you're disappointed.
I was expecting some, crazy ending where, you parachute in.
It's coming.
All right, so
not that one.
Put a pin on it. Oh, the part two.
Yeah,
all right, I want to give that.
Two.
All right, I have a feeling where part 2 is going, but
Yeah, but
okay.
go ahead.
All right. I don't mean to poop on your story. I just was. I was surprised.
You have a habit of saying I don't mean to do something and then doing it.
I was just.
I'm sure that guy didn't mean to steal your phone and rob $20 from you.
No, it was a good story. I'm sorry. It was a lot of. It was.
It has no ending, and I know
well,
that
it's
disappointing.
It's a part 2 that's coming. I assume. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, the insurance policy. Who knows?
Yeah, there'll be more, and.
Well, we got this other violent thing coming your way, but.
Oh, it's already came.
What?
It already came. It's not coming my way.
Oh, yeah. Well, the story is.
Yeah.
The story is about to.
Let's hear about the vacation. I want to hear all about it.
All right. So I found out the hard way, everybody. So I booked a beach trip with my girlfriend, Aruba.
Yeah.
Found
Jamaica.
out Jamaica. We want to go there.
Ooh, I want to take you.
I know. Everyone knows that song. Yeah, I found out the hard way. Anxiety does not take vacation days. You can be on the beach, but that anxiety is, clocked in. That thing is punched in.
Yeah, it's tanning in the chair next to you.
It's ripping down the umbrella, throwing sand in your shorts.
It's yelling shark every 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's pointing out new moles that you might have. I feel bad about pooping on your story. I mean,
no, you're fine.
All right.
Buried in the sand in Aruba.
I see it in your eyes that it was a good story.
That my hit and run was an inconvenience to you.
It was a good story. I was sad about the end where
was I.
They told you to screw off. Didn't do anything.
Real life.
But I didn't. I guess I should have saw that coming.
Yeah.
In my head, I was honestly thinking they'd pull the footage and at least say they were working.
I don't think there was any cameras over there.
Oh God. All right. Anyways, so booked this trip 2 weeks ago through Expedia. You'll see my review of them later. But this is not a commercial. This is the opposite of a commercial for that website.
Continue.
So we're browsing resorts in Aruba. We're looking everywhere. We're looking in Mexico and Dominican Republic, and I can't remember why we picked Aruba. Oh, I think because comedians go there for this comedy club, so they're like, it's awesome. We know Katie Hannigan and Mike Vecchione were we're there all the time. They spent the whole pandemic there.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we'll check it out. So I look online, and then I see I'm looking for all-inclusive resorts. I don't want to have any stress. I picture myself sitting on a beach, and then a monkey dressed up climbs from a tree and hands me a coconut with a straw in it, and then he climbs back up, and and then his owner whips him or whatever, and trains him to keep doing that. But
yeah,
but I guess I don't know.
So
that sounded bad.
So that monkey was the hit and run story. You thought it was gonna be this grand thing that was gonna do all this stuff for you. And then what ended up happening?
I thought like a pelican would land next to me, open his beak, and there's like
It's a cooler.
it's a cocktail shaker in his beak, and you make it, and another pelican lands, and he opens his beak, and there's ice in it. I'm like, oh, great. And a seagull drops a cherry in the drink
Wow.
or something, and the monkey comes back and has plates.
Complains about being whipped.
So so I look online. There's like 2 all-inclusive resorts. One is called the Riu, RIU. That one's like almost $3,000, including it's the package deal.
A night?
All together for like the 5 nights or 4 nights or whatever. That includes the airfare and the all-inclusive resort, the room. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it's a lot of money, but
Right. So we know he didn't do that.
we know. So this other one, it's called the Divvy Dutch Resort.
Oh, I mean, the name. Just,
And then Matt,
the Divvy Dutch.
I told Maddie it sounds like a Pokemon. Divvy Dutch, Divvy. Just says Divvy Dutch. Sounds Divvy Duck. So I clicked that one. Immediately the price goes like $1,200.
Oh, they divvied it up.
They divvy down. Double divvy down.
Divvy when you're up, divvy when you're down.
I got paid dividends from the divvies. I'm like, wow, this is really cheap. I mean, maybe because of COVID. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Expedia has it all inclusive. I scan it over. Amenities, drinks, meals, beverages included, snacks included. I'm like, wow, this is the deal of a lifetime. Book it. Done. Divvy done.
And you didn't read more than that. You just saw drinks, food. What else was done?
Snacks.
Snacks.
And then the other amenities included AC and
DC.
and there's a kitchen included.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
so I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm. This is like Steven's late night green room.
Yeah. I'm like, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna be on the beach. The pelicans are gonna land.
Yeah.
The crab's gonna come up with a. He's holding a snack tray or whatever.
Yeah. We're gonna make sure that monkey's okay. And
Right. You eat the snacks off the crab's tray, and then you eat the crab.
Yeah. Yeah, the crab's like, it's a tray with a hammer. What's this for? What?
It's a tray with a boiling pot of water. I don't know about this. Why would anyone want this boiling pot of water?
Then a lobster comes over. You sent for me?
The lobster's carrying like a
Stick of butter.
clarified butter. Yeah. And what else do they have? A cracker, I guess. For
No, you and Maddie were already there.
a couple of crackers, but so we land. Flight's okay, other than the fact that I got a sandwich the night before and I left it in the fridge. And I was like, I could have ate that in the airport.
So that's the worst part of your flight?
Well, yeah, the flight. I'm just like, I yell out in the plane, the sandwich. I left it at home.
You're calling the flight attendant. She's like, I don't know what you want from me.
We can't go back to your house, sir, and get your sandwich out of the
We
fridge.
can't have it flown into Aruba. What do you want?
But other than that, it was JetBlue, so you get the headphones and you're watching a little TV. And I watched Tenet, which is a great movie. I'll talk about it on the Patreon, but
Sweet. I can watch it on the new TV.
yeah, I mean, it's super Nolan.
Oh, all right.
You know his movies.
Yeah.
So land, take a cab. I already feel like I'm ripped off. The cab was like $28. It drove like 2 blocks, and I'm like just shaking my head about it. I got ripped off with the cab. Go check in. They say, okay, here are your wristbands, and if you want the all-inclusive, it's $100 more. And I'm like, oh, no. We already got the all-inclusive. They said, no, you didn't. I said, yeah, we did. And they're like, no, you just got a room. And I look on the booking. It just says we got a room. But the website says it's all-inclusive. And I just lost. I almost like blew a blood vessel. I'm like, what are we gonna eat? They're like, well, what are we gonna drink?
My sandwich.
My sandwich. I could have ate that.
Oh my God.
So they're like
$100 more a night or $100 more
each. It's like 120 something each every night to do the all inclusive. So it'd be all together it'd be an extra like $1,000, which was the price of the other place. What is the price of the other place?
Oh, you mean the Grand Hotel, but you wanted to go to Divvy Dutch?
Divvy Dutch. And Divvy Dutch looks like a Divvy Dutch. It's like small. It looks like a retirement home, but
oh God,
there's like a little pool there and then a beach. And I'm like, what do we do about the food?
Isn't going Dutch it's
a bad thing?
Isn't it a term with money?
Yeah, that means you split a date instead of paying.
Divvy also means splitting.
Divvy, 2 splits.
2 splits. You looked
what am I, gymnastics?
You get a splitting headache.
Which I did because I almost had an aneurysm.
So
they're like, what do I do for the food? They're like, grocery store there. You know, they speak like, I looked up the history of Aruba, which I never did. It got settled by first it had the native Carib people that spoke a language called Arawak, which sounds like
what Expedia did to you.
Arawak. So then, like, the Spanish came, so they started speaking Spanish. Then the Portuguese came, they started speaking Portuguese. Then the Dutch came, they started speaking Dutch.
And divvied it up.
Then the English came, they started speaking English. And then the Dutch came back, they're still there. So they have this own language in Aruba that is a mix of, like, 8 different languages. It's like the what is that called? Slow cooker.
Pressure cooker?
Melting
pot.
Yeah, melting. Yeah, I was going to do a different reference. Oh, no. The camera.
We're fine.
Yeah, it's like a stew of so it's called pimento, which I thought was an olive, but so the language is like there's no way to know their language. There's like literally no way to know. Google doesn't even have this thing.
Right.
So there's like 3 different language barriers going on, and then they also speak Dutch, which I don't speak, and then so it's like hard to communicate sometimes there.
Right.
So I'm like, what do I eat? A grocery store, and then I'm like, grocery store, and then you have to cross this road past the Divvy Dutch, which we did. We were like crossing this.
You went and got groceries.
We crossed this desert landscape. Lizards are crawling around our feet. The lizards are like the squirrels of Aruba. They're everywhere. They're literally crawling everywhere. Lizards. They look like dinosaurs. They're like crawling up my leg and squawking. No, I'm joking. But,
oh, my God.
But they're literally, you turn left, there's a lizard there. And the first time, I'm like, ooh, look at this. The 5th time, I'm like, I think we're surrounded. Go to the grocery stores and we get like eggs, bacon for the breakfasts, which aren't included now. And we get beer and ends up being the total at the grocery store is $200.
Oh my God.
The cost of the all-inclusive for one night for both of us.
You see the pelican there buying ice.
This is for the good people, not you. Flies away. So
is this in the shot?
What? A little bit. I'll move it.
Okay.
Well, now the other one is. Okay, let me just zoom in here. Okay, you're good now.
Great.
So, get the groceries, come back. We're like, all right, we unpack everything. Now we're basically living in our Queens, New York apartment, but with a beach. We have groceries and one bed. It's a small. It's not the biggest room. Bathroom door is just like this thing, so we hear each other pee. And it was just like a swinging,
and a poopa.
Yeah, it's a swinging piece of wood that is broken. So literally, I'm peeing. It slowly reveals me to my girlfriend.
Like a special guest.
Right. Yeah, like
Two special guests.
please welcome urinating man
Andrew's wiener.
with pee coming out. So we're like, whatever,
man.
this sucks, but let's go to the beach. So we go to the beach, really nice beach at least. Like the water's blue and
Yeah.
sand's white.
Wow.
And we look to the right, and there's like this.
A lizard.
Well, there is one, but beyond the lizard, there's beyond the lizard, there's like this it's called the bunker bar. It's like a World War II bunker overlooking the water with like,
Right up your alley.
exactly. So with like stilts, and it's the roof is made out of
Arufa.
yeah, made out of straw.
Yeah.
It looks like a tropical place
Sure.
with a bar. So
Really,
like,
on the beach.
yeah, so like let's go there and we'll get like a margarita or whatever.
Mm.
And we go there and we're like, yeah, 2 pina coladas. The guy makes them, he hands it to me, looks away, and I'm like, so how much is that? He's like, huh? I'm like, to pay? And I look around, every sign says all inclusive, and he's like, just put $10 in here. And he points to his tip jar. So I'm like, okay, put it in there. We get the drinks. We decided to walk around. I'm like, that was weird. I think that was all inclusive, but he didn't know what to do. We walked to the next. There's a separate resort next to Divvy Dutch that is all inclusive.
Right.
Has a swimming pool, bar on the pool.
Right.
Overlooks the beach. We go there. I like, okay, 2 more pina coladas. Guy hands us, doesn't say anything. And I'm like, all right, well, let's get some snacks too. We got some breadsticks and chicken tenders. The guy just hands us the food.
Send the Pelican over.
Yeah. I tipped that guy like $5. Take the food and the drinks and, sit by the pool. We're like eating, drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is bizarre. I haven't charged. Do we hack this? Do we have all inclusive? But no. And a woman comes over. I'm like, all right, we're busted. She's like, can I get anything to drink? And we're like, actually, we just finished these pina coladas. We'll have 2 more. And she's like, okay. Drops them on the table next to the pool. Takes off. Doesn't say anything. So I'm like, oh.
This is day one?
This is day one. This is day one. Like,
Oh,
sun's
boy.
still up. I hand her, here, take this. Hand her $1. Thank you. Sit at the pool. We finish their meals, leave the plates. Sit down, feet in the water. We're having the margarita or the pina coladas. I'm like, did we just all get this for free? What's going on? And then half of me is like kind of like excited that we're getting stuff for free.
Right.
Half of me is pissed that we got all these groceries.
Right. So you're divvied up on your...
Divvied up on, we don't know what is going on. And I'm super anxious because I'm like, the hammer's going to come down. We got to pay. This confusion is like...
Right.
I'm supposed to be on the beach relaxing. I'm like, what's going on with this all-inclusive? I'm pissed and angry and nervous. And I tried to call Expedia. They you're out of the country, so the line doesn't work.
Right.
And then they
arrow-whacked you.
They arrow-whacked me, and they gave me this other number, and it just rings, and no one picks up. And
Right. I must have been the police station.
yeah, so I'm exactly. It's the same kind of network. It's just 311 they gave me. So I'm like... so mad because I can't get any straight answers.
Right.
So I don't know the lady who checked in said we're not all inclusive. This bartender and this waitress is telling me we are, but not really, but just giving me free things. So we're sitting with the legs in the pool. This guy comes out of the pool, like he's been underwater. He comes out of the pool and goes, "You guys are in the wrong place." And we're like, "Oh, we're busted. I'm in my head. I'm like, we're arrested."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he says, "You guys shouldn't be here." And we're like, "Oh, I
Oh,
know." I'm
God.
like, "I know, I shouldn't be here."
You got your wrists out.
Yeah, I'm like,
All right.
"Lock me up." I
Yeah.
know he stole these pina coladas and these breadsticks. And then I'm like, the anxiety kind of like the first wave of anxiety kind of goes away, and I realize it's just some drunk guy in the pool, and he says, "You gotta come over here with us."
Oh,
he points at his
God.
friends sitting at the pool.
Yeah. Come to our party.
Yeah, you guys should be not here. You guys should be over there.
Was his eyes darting around and he had your cell phone?
Might as well have been. This guy was looped up. He's been drinking free pina coladas all day. This guy doesn't know what's going on.
Turns out you were talking to your reflection in the water.
This guy I was on the verge of drowning. He's like swimming at us, but like water's coming over, coming in his mouth, and he's like, "Where are you guys from?" Or like New York. He's like, "I'm from Boston."
Oh man, he could hear
I'm
him
like,
through the bathroom door.
And then I'm like relieved. I'm like, I still don't know what's going on. So we leave. And then his friends pull him over. What was he talking to you about?
Oh yeah, because they're more sober than he is.
No, they're drunk too. They don't know what's going. They just saw him talking to us, and they're like, "Is this a new friend?"
Oh God.
So that guy, then we have to be like, "Oh, we don't know what he's talking about." And I'm still nervous, so we get out and we change. We go to dinner. There's like a third resort next to the one next to Divvy Dutch. So there's a Divvy Dutch. There's one I don't even remember what it's called, Tamarind, and then there's the Divvy, the original. So we go to the Divvy, and we're like, I don't know. I guess we have all inclusive. I guess.
Yeah.
So we check into dinner. It's all inclusive dinner, no prices, and the guy, the rudest host is like, "Excuse me, you shouldn't. You aren't part of the all-inclusive." So. And we're like, all right, so we'll just pay. You can't pay. We don't accept money here. I'm like, so how do we eat? You have to go to the front desk and tell them that you're not all-inclusive, and they'll give you a little ticket, and you take it. We're like, oh, God. So you have to go to the front desk, wait in line where everyone's checking in.
Yeah.
Talk to them, and then they're like, well, do you want the dinner or you want the buffet? We're like, there's a buffet. And I send Maddie over. She looks, and she's like, all right.
Buffet.
We get the buffet. It's $35 each. So by now, all inclusive.
And you're drunk at this point.
Yeah, I'm buzzed. You
Yeah.
know? And I'm still nervous. The guy told us we're not all inclusive. At least we got an answer. At least.
Yeah, yeah.
So we get at the buffet, and I'm like trying to eat, and Maddie's eating rice and mashed potatoes. I'm like, what are you doing? It's a buffet. I paid $35 each for this. Eat the steak and the chicken and stuff. Of course,
she's eating a one meal like if she ordered it.
Yeah, she's eating like she made it at home. I'm like, you can't eat rice and potatoes.
You're filling up.
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you insane? What are you doing? Again, another argument done by the not all-inclusive. Because if it was all-inclusive, I'd be like, yeah, get the potatoes, whatever. We'll eat here tomorrow.
Right.
So then we go next day, go to bed or whatever. Next day, wake up, same bunker bar. We're like, all right, let's play it cool. We're going to get the free drinks and, don't say anything. Different bartender. He's like, you not all inclusive. You owe money. He, the other guy was like a fluke. So, all right. So I don't know. We got to wrap. We're at 50 minutes, but we might not have time for your second story though.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Do you have more story?
Yeah.
Do your story, and we'll save it for next time, I guess.
Okay. All right. So,
unless it has an ending like my.
Well, it kind of does have a cliffhanger ending.
Okay.
So I don't have a finished ending yet, but it's still ongoing.
Then we should save it, I think. My next thing is done.
Your next thing is long, isn't it?
No.
Okay. All right. So basically, my ending is just to wrap up the whole Aruba story. It was fun with the beach and the pool and everything. The all-inclusive thing was a kink where, it's toward the end of the last. I'll just cut to the last day of the trip.
Yeah.
Last day of the trip, we haven't eaten any of the groceries. We've been eating. Last day. Okay, so it's our plane got delayed to 3 p.m. It was supposed to leave at 1.
Okay, so you're stuffing all of this in you.
Right. So I'm like, we go to the beach in the morning because we're like, oh, it's delayed. We come back at like 11. I'm like turning on the pot, frying the bacon, frying the eggs, like using half a container of eggs, whole container of bacon. I'm like shucking and making toast. And
yeah.
Everything else we got in there.
You look like Mr. Mom.
Yeah, I have like a feather duster on my belt and, shoveling all these like 3 pans at once.
Right.
And, I'm like, we bought condiments, so I'm like splurting them all on. I'm like, let's make the sandwich for the airport.
Yeah, it was like you with the all inclusive.
Exactly. yeah, so I'm making all that, and then so then I'm like, all right, we'll call the front desk. It's like noon. I'm like finishing up the sandwich. Finishing up all the food.
Right.
Like prepping it. Like call the desk and tell them we need a cab for the airport. Calls the desk. She's like, they said we shouldn't be in the room. I'm like,
what?
Checkout was at 10 a.m.
Oh my God.
I'm in there whipping up a storm 2 hours after we should have left.
You got eggs on the ceiling.
I got smoke in the air, shells everywhere.
You got the broken door covered in ketchup. And
Yeah. Crabs everywhere. Like, literally, I'm like, oh my God. We have to be out of here? I'm not packed at all. I've been making all this food. So, like, I'm like, watch the eggs. She also, like, comes over to the stove, and she's upset, not happy that I'm insisting on making everything we bought at once. I'm like, we paid it. We didn't get the all-inclusive. We got to make this food.
Oh, man.
So she's over there, like, begrudgingly, like, mixing up the eggs or whatever. I'm, like, running around, like, Home Alone with that music when they're in the airport.
Yeah,
or whatever. The music when they... right. Grabbing everything, looking under the pillows, like, for chargers I forgot. So finally, I'm like, the cleaning lady's going to come, and we're going to have to pay another room for this shitty place.
We slept in.
We slept in. I don't want to give these people any more money. Please, we got to get out of here before we get in trouble.
Oh, man.
So at first when Maddie was like, the checkout was at 10 a.m., I was like, tell them we left. But then we called from the room. That wouldn't make sense. So I'm like, just tell them we're leaving. We told them we're leaving, but we stayed there for like another 45 minutes in a panic, making food. And then, so I basically put all these eggs, bacon, cheese, whatever, into one sandwich. I like cram it all in.
What are you, Scooby-Doo?
And we had like fruit. I put it in a bag. Yeah, exactly. We got extra ham. That's on the. I put that on the side. And so take the cab to the airport, and this still pisses me off, but I was like so out of it that the lady at the cab was like, $28, same as the trip over there, and I'm like, okay. So I hand her 2 20s. I'm like, keep it. In my head, I gave her $30.
Yeah.
Gave her 40, and she was like, didn't even react. She's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Gave you $12. Oh, because she knew if she overreacted, I'd be like, really realize my mistake.
Well, you were in a hurry and you had to check your sandwich.
Yeah, so I'm like, the cost of just buying a sandwich at the airport would be what if I overtipped this woman.
Right.
So then, so I'm like, all right, great. So go through security, sandwich gets through. I'm like, thank God.
There's probably a frying pan in that sandwich. So thick.
I'm like, great. In my head, I'm like, I'll be eating oranges and eating that sandwich, waiting for the airport.
Oh, no.
We walk through these series of restaurants, and then there's another security line. I'm like, that's weird. Go through that. Then we see another security line. This is the third security line at this point.
Are these all inclusive?
The opposite. And I'm like, what is this line? And I see it's customs.
Yep. No food.
No food at all. And it says no sandwiches. There's literally, I should have took a picture of what you can't bring.
God.
It's a picture of a Scooby-Doo sub with a line through it. And then picture of an orange with a line. Everything I packed has a line through it.
There's a picture of you.
Right. So I'm like, what the hell? I guess now it's a recent thing where they add customs leaving Aruba, so it's less when you arrive in the United States, which I didn't know. I thought we would be able to eat.
Yeah, you thought it would be in you by the time you
I thought all the customs when you land here, but they added this one. So I had to like go to the second security area, which is just basically your luggage check. I had to sit on like somebody else's luggage and just eat this sandwich.
I knew it.
I'm not even at a table. There's no chair. I'm like basically on a guardrail, like eating this giant sandwich. Everyone's looking at me.
I wish I saw a picture of this.
And Maddie's like shaking her head. She's like, this is so gross. Like, I know.
I'm not an animal. Oh my God.
So then the cliffhanger is I left this long review for Expedia. I called them a bait and switch. I
Divvied up.
said, this
Divvy
sucks. This sucks. It shouldn't be on your website. It shouldn't say all inclusive. And then I said, there's no way to reach you when you were there. And I tweeted at him and did everything.
Oh boy.
Nothing. No response. I said, this sucks. Never book Expedia. So
Wow.
I hope. Last time I complained, this was maybe like 8 years ago. They gave me like a $200 voucher.
Right.
So
That's 2 cab rides.
I know.
That's groceries.
That's one sandwich.
That's one sandwich of groceries. Oh man! All right, let me get into mine.
Okay, great.
So we can wrap up here. Last night, I'm leaving my spot at New York Comedy Club, Greenwich, not Gramercy.
East Village. Oh, Gramercy. Okay.
And great set. Had a lot of fun. So the jokes that I wrote about the hit and run worked, and
My God.
it was great. So I leave.
You just read those tweets?
No, I wrote some jokes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, some of the tweets were in there. But
That's quick. That's a quick turnaround.
yeah, so it was well, same
All
when
right.
the guy hit me. I'll give you another quick turnaround in a couple seconds. Here we go. I go to the 6th train on 23rd Street, and I'm waiting for the train. It's 5 minutes away.
Okay.
I'm looking at my phone. I got my headphones in, and a man walks by me, no mask,
Ugh.
and as he passes me, he turns and spits in my face.
Oh, gross.
Spits in my face.
Like in your eyes? Like a cobra.
Like a cobra. I'm covered. Cobra
Ew.
covered. And I have my mask on, so I'm like, well, COVID-wise, I should be okay.
It's in your eyes.
Well, yeah. I couldn't see it at first because. Man, you went through a lot there. And so I've been spit on before on the subway.
Really?
Yes. I got.
Oh, you had a bit about it, right?
No.
Oh, that was somebody else.
I
Okay.
just have a shirt that says "spit on me," and sometimes I wear it on public transportation. But last time I got spit on, I ignored it, and the guy didn't get what he wanted out of me. He got no reaction, so he left.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's what I'm going to do here.
Just don't do it. Play possum.
Just stand your ground like a statue. And I stand there, and I start to tweet. I just got spit on, figuring.
Do you wipe it out of your eye?
I wiped it out of
Okay.
my eye.
Good
what do
Lord.
you think? I got to see
What?
the tweet.
He said he didn't do anything.
Well, I went like that. There were some women next to me, and they were like, ah! You know.
That's when you go to the ticket guy and go, let's kick this guy out.
This is all in 1 second.
Okay.
So I wipe my eyes. I take my phone out to be like, I'm not going to give this guy any attention. He immediately turns around and punches me in the face.
What?
Punches me in the face. This is last night.
What is going?
Less than 24 hours ago.
Where in the face? I don't see anything.
Right here.
Oh, the cheek?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. At least it wasn't your nose.
Yeah. He got me right here.
Oh, my God.
I did not get a bruise or anything. My dad joked. He said he must have hit an 11 like the last episode.
Oh, right. That's a good callback, Rick.
Great callback.
That's awesome.
So, it was the best callback I've ever heard. It's going in the bit, but I get
That's a long call. That's a long bit then.
yeah, but who
All right.
cares?
I gotta explain the machine.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know. I'll get into it,
All right.
but I get hit in the face, so I'm like, well, now I got to get out of here. This guy might be up to something. So it takes.
What gave that away? What was the first clue?
First, his fist hit me, and then the idea hit me.
Well, then the spit too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I was like, well, if this guy's only escalating, I don't want to see what the third thing is.
Good idea.
Reaching to get some poop out of his pants, throw it at me. But
really.
so I go to walk towards the turnstile to get out of there, where the booth person is.
There's a person in the booth?
There's a person in the booth. I'm like,
God.
perfect.
Great.
I go towards the turnstile. So this guy was pacing. He's already down there towards the turnstile. But
He cut you off?
Yeah, he's already down there. Because after he hit me, he just kept walking. Another hit and run. And
literally.
So then he sees me going towards the turnstile, and my immediate thinking is I'm going to pretend to go through the turnstile. The train's about 2 minutes away. I'm going to try to pretend to go through the turnstile. He'll go through it, and then and then I'll stop, and he'll be on the other side, and hopefully maybe that's enough time to get away from this guy. I go through it. He goes through. I didn't go through. I stayed on the other side. He sees I didn't go on the other side. He comes back in through the
emergency exit. What is the ticket person doing?
Watching. And
because I think they don't allow the turnstile jumping a crime anymore or something.
And he starts spitting on the other people there.
And the ticket person's looking at this?
So then they start calling.
Oh, thank God.
But they do it like a grocery store. Will somebody come over to aisle 3? Like, it was not urgent.
There's definitely a spill.
Yeah. And the cops over there going, well, I finally got to this hit and run. But so I get above ground, and I have adrenaline coursing through my veins. And I'm like, this guy's going to follow me. And
oh, my God.
I went to our therapist.
I didn't even think about that.
I ran. I'm like...
You ran out of the ground.
When I got out above ground, I ran. And I'm like, I'm going to go to New York Comedy Club and call a cab from there.
Or the police. What the heck? This man spitting and punched you.
I didn't... The cops were already called.
No, they weren't. The grocery store manager was called.
Well, that's true. But so then I running... And I run into Anthony DeVito.
No way.
On the street. So I stop and I go, hey, man. He's like, hey, you all right? I'm like, I just got punched in the face and he spit on me. And he's like, all right, well, I'm not taking the train. Let's call a cab.
Cool.
We rode in the cab and he's making fun of me the whole ride. I was laughing so hard. He calls Greg Stone and has me tell the story.
Oh, that's great.
I was basically on a Red Dude episode. And then I came home and it's just as good of an ending as the last story. But yeah.
Well, that was exciting. Well, a couple things. I have my own opinions on this, but I listened on the radio, no joke, on the way to the Aruba airport, and the MTA person's like, the subway is the safest it's ever been, everybody. Get back on the subway.
No.
And I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, no, it's not.
It's not.
You're getting punched and spit, and these people are literally lying to everybody.
Yeah.
They're doing nothing.
And the other passengers did nothing. It was...
Of course not.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be on World Star or whatever, YouTube.
Yeah.
That's why I want to be like, you should have complained, because they need to get these stats out there that the people are getting punched and spit. Like,
right. Well,
when did it happen? Yesterday? You should call
last
the police.
night.
You should file a report again.
Yeah, that was fun. Can't wait to see that lady again.
Well, they literally have the footage. You could just pull it up.
True. Yeah.
And find this man.
Oh man, I'll do it. All right.
You should. Yeah.
I will. I'll do it.
That'd be great wrapping up.
It would be a great. All right, I'll do it.
I gotta stick to these people because the city is unsafe and no one's complaining. Everyone's getting spit on and kicked, and they're like, oh, whatever. And they all take the cab home with Greg Stone.
All right, I'll do it.
I will. Yeah,
that'll be the next episode. You'll hear about it.
Okay, cool. And then we had a double follow up. All right. Well, I really think you should, because how crazy would that be? This guy gets arrested with the footage.
We get the footage.
You have to go to the courthouse because they arrest him. So you're a witness.
Oh, I don't want to see this guy.
He represents himself.
Yeah, they better put a spit guard up.
He represents himself, and the judge is like, all right, do you have any questions for this witness? He spits on you.
I just have one.
Well, this guy does know how to...
He goes, I have one question. After I spit on you, why did you stay?
I don't know what I would have done. If somebody spit on me in the subway, I'm trying to think of the
saw
worst
you
thing.
the other day with a seltzer machine. I can't picture you getting spit on.
I would have been like, I'm trying to, it's hard to say because I've never been spit on in the subway. I think I've been spit on in New York before. I'm trying to remember, but I'm trying to remember like the worst thing that's happened to me.
I mean, when it comes to something like that, I can't. I knocked the ring light over for a second, and you went, oh!
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we got to wrap up.
Okay, I'm just trying to think.
I know. I see this face, and I know what this face means. It's a long pause.
The long pause means I got nothing.
Yes. We got nothing.
That's true. I got nothing.
We got to wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for listening to what is probably the most hectic episode we have story-wise in a while.
I don't know. Hopefully, there'll be some follow-ups regarding Expedia giving me anything.
Yes. The hit and run and the drive-by punching.
And if you go to the police, I'm going to go to the FTC about Expedia because it's false advertising.
I'll go to the police.
I will go down. I'll go to the website. I don't know if they have an office. I took screenshots of this ad.
All right. Perfect.
I'm going to, if Expedia doesn't write back to me, I'm going there.
You're doing it with the urgency of the assault I just went through. All right. We got to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We love you.
I'm going to talk more about the Aruba trip on the Patreon, I guess.
It's all on Patreon.
Okay. So, all right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Subscribe to the Patreon, $5 a month for YouTube. Subscribe to there. So we hit 100 goal.
Yeah.
What's the?
I'm the one that got hit in the head. What are you? Our URL.
We got the 100. So what's our next goal? 200?
200.
Okay. So, and we also, I don't know if we talked about this on the episode last week, or maybe you and me talked about it, but if we get 100 Patreons, we're gonna get our own.
We're gonna ask our therapist to be on.
Yeah, and then next episode we'll have Dr. Deb and the listener topic. So tweet at us all those.
Stay tuned for the outro.
Stay tuned for the outro, everybody.
My heart starts beating really fast.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the episode.
Really appreciate all the support. If you like the podcast, please share it. Tell all your friends. Give us a high rating. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. And we're on social media. I'm at Not Steve Rogers on Instagram and Twitter. Steven Rogers Comedy on Facebook and StevenRogersComedy.com.
And I am on Twitter, Chavone, SCHIAVONE. And on Instagram, I'm Andrew Chavone, same spelling as before. On Facebook, I'm Andrew.Chavone. And my website is AndrewChavone.com.
Perfect. Thanks for listening, and see you next week, guys.
See you next week.